Hey everyone, this is Wendy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a cute fall sign, and for this project we're going to need four 4x6 frames individually wrapped so there's no damages from the Dollar Tree. And I chose these because they're nice and thick so they'll stand up by themselves. Some scissors, a sponge brush, a regular brush, some twine, some scrap material that you have on hand, some craft paper, and then some Queen Anne's lace from the Dollar Tree as well. And then to paint the frames, I used my Waverly white chalk paint, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use the elephant or mineral, but I used the mineral, and then just some Mod Podge. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take apart the frames, and we're not going to be using the glass, but set the backs aside because we will be using those. And then I just started putting on the paint, and this is going to take a couple of coats. My brush was a little big, but it worked because you don't have to have it perfect because this is a distressed type of farmhouse look. So then I used my craft paper and I cut out 4 pieces that would fit within the frames, and just using the glass piece I traced out the square so that I knew that it would fit into the frame. And then just to save time, I folded my craft paper so that I could get 4 squares all at the same time, and just cut that out. So now using my Mod Podge, I just put it onto the backing of the frames, and you just want to use a pretty generous amount and just get it on there in a pretty thick coat. And then once it's all covered, then we're going to put the craft paper right on top and put some more Mod Podge on top of the craft paper. And I put a lot on so that it would kind of get wrinkly and bubbled up and look a little used. And it kind of reminded me of a leaf, the texture of a leaf. So instead of making it all perfect, I wanted to make those creases stand out, make sure that they were really indented into the craft paper. And this is what it looks like, still wet. And then now that my frames are pretty dry, I got the second coat on there, and as you can see, the backs are not in and they still stand up really well. And then my backs are drying, and that's a pretty good look at how the lines and the wrinkles are worked into it. Then you're going to take your fabric, and then I cut it down into a more manageable piece and made sure that they were 4x6. And then on a piece of cardstock, I went ahead and freehanded the word fall, and I didn't feel like pulling out my cameo, and this was just really supposed to be kind of handwritten looking, and so I just went ahead and made them thicker so that when I cut them out of the fabric, they would really stand out and also look handmade and handwritten, which I think it does. So now just using kind of smaller good scissors, I cut those out, and kind of want to take your time with this just to make sure that you get straight lines, so that when you go to cut it out of the material, it looks a little straight, so just using the template. And I turned it over backwards, so technically this would be the back side of the fabric. I used a blue Sharpie, which in the end, you'll see I'm going to have to fix that because it actually bled through once I got the Mod Podge on top of it. But then you're just going to cut each letter out of your fabric. And then once you get the letters cut out, you're going to put them onto the backing and Mod Podge right over it. And then it's time to distress the completely dry frames. And I ended up opting for the mineral color to use as the distressing color. And you're just using a dry brush. You really need to get all the paint off. And on the first side, you can see I kind of got it on a little too thick, but you can go back and add some white on top so that it's not so prominent there. And just going all 4 frames, just going on the insides and on the out. You just want to make it look distressed and just kind of weathered looking, like it's old wood. And so once you get all 4 of these done, we're going to start putting them together. So here I'm showing you the blue ink. I don't know if you were able to really see it, but instead of leaving it the bluish color, I went ahead and used a black Sharpie, which is what I should have used when I was tracing it out. And I just went around all of the letters, and I actually think it looks better because it shows a little bit better. And then we're going to just put those into each of the frames and close them up and set them aside because we're going to put these together. The A you'll see is using the frame sideways so that we can do something else after they're all put together. So now for this part, I am using some Dollar Tree polka dot ribbon and some black ribbon and some twine, and I just made a real simple bow and put it together with the twine. And then on top of that, I'm going to, after I dovetail the tail there, I'm gonna glue gun, hot glue this black bow onto the polka dotted burlap stuff. And then on top of that, I'm going to take a little sprig of the Queen Anne's lace. And this is where it's going to sit once we get it done. But here's the Queen Anne's lace, and I think it looks so fall looking, and I love that. So cut off a little bit of the plastic so it sits a little flatter, and then using a big dollop of hot glue, stick that on top of the black bow. And then I wanted to get some leaves in there, so I just cut some apart and stuck it into the side. And once you see where you want it, then just add some glue and press it into that. And then I'm just getting off the little stringies of hot glue. There should be a glue that doesn't have strings. But then I put another one up top. And then eventually I put another one towards the bottom, but that'll be after I actually mount it onto that frame in its place. So now first I'm going to put the frames together so that they're all one piece. And you're just gonna glue the sides together and kind of hold it in place so that it gets a good grip and stays pretty well. So now I'm gonna put my bow on top of that A where the frame is sideways. I ran out of glue here, but it was already committed, so I had to push it with my scissors. And just stick it up there and get it into the position that you want. And for the tails, I didn't want it covering the A, so I hot glued them over towards the sides so that the A would show and it wasn't in the way. And I did that for both sides. And then just hold it in place. And then it is all ready to go. And here it is, all completed and sitting on my fireplace mantle. And I added some books to the side and a ceramic pumpkin there and some greenery. But I think it looks really cute, and I am ready to kick off my fall decorating with this sign. If you like this video and want to see some more DIYs, please give this a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel so we can grow it. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook, and I hope everyone has a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Bye.